Homeland security is a shared responsibility, and when you see something out of the ordinary, it's your duty as an American citizen to report it. How do you know something's out of the ordinary? You'll know. Someone who seems to be taking pictures of a landmark, individuals having a quiet conversation that looks suspicious, people who seem to be hiding their heads or obscuring their faces, an identical twin whose twin is missing, people pretending to be Jewish, someone writing something in a notebook which you can't read because you're too far away, someone who looks Muslim-y, or not Muslim-y enough, someone laughing a little too much, a woman drinking a coffee near a subway station, a black guy talking to a white guy and pointing somewhere, people pretending to be in love, someone giving the UN the finger, someone buying food from a halal food vendor, Germans with luggage, kids acting like adults, someone pretending they aren't listening to jock jams a little too loud, one area of the street that people seem to be avoiding, acting legend Steve Buscemi, a bagel, a dad on vacation who's stressed out because his teen daughters are wearing too much makeup because they're in New York City for the first time, people who think that wrestling is real, air containing water vapor that was once in countries controlled by the Muslim Brotherhood. Keep America safe. If you see something, say something.
of A with Brian Sack.
Good evening and welcome to the BS of A. I'm your host, Brian Sack. Recently, okay, we've got some breaking news coming in. Matt Fisher on the scene. Hi, Matt.
Brian, the FBI is set to make an announcement that they've made some progress in their manhunt. Sources tell us that the suspect is brown-skinned, or possibly black-skinned, or white.
Oh, that's broad.
Brian, I'm now hearing he may be Asian-skinned, if there's such a thing as that. He has a race, is my point. He is racial.
Okay, so at this stage in the game, we are looking for a human.
Definitely a human, Brian. Well, in most scenarios, that is. It could well also be an alien. In that case, the bomber would still have a color, or transparent. It just remains to be seen what different races that alien species has.
Matt, let's get back to you when you have some breaking news.
He's out there somewhere, Brian, or it.
All right, thanks. As I was saying, recently I was drinking an iced tea in a Styrofoam cup. Printed on that cup was this, quote, "An average weight paper cup generates 148% more solid waste by weight than a comparable foam cup," end quote. Now, joining me to explain that statement, Stephen Lerner from the Styrofoam lobby, I guess?
Thanks for having me. Actually, technically, it's polystyrene. Styrofoam has been trademarked by the Dow Chemical Company, and you do not want to get on the wrong side of those lawyers.
Why?
Well, put it this way. If you happen to graduate from college with a degree in fingernail pulling, Dow Chemical, they have a desk waiting for you when you get there.
Okay. All right. So I see this cup, and it's essentially saying that it's bragging that paper cups are heavier. They take up 148% more space than a Styrofoam cup.
That's really true, Brian. I mean, think about it. Paper is bulky and heavy. I mean, it's hard. I mean, think about it. It's like trying to drink out of an iron lung. Polystyrene is breezy and light. It's a lifestyle cup.
Okay, but I'm going to be honest, because my first impression was that was absolute BS, and they're just trying to make Styrofoam seem better than paper. I mean, paper's slightly heavier maybe, but it's natural, and it's eventually going to decompose.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Brian. Paper, it just falls apart.
Well, I mean, is that not a good thing?
Well, what if a mouse wanted to move into it?
Really? Is that your argument?
It's an argument. It's flimsy and worthless like paper, and it has fallen apart.
All right. Tell me which one of these cups will be around in 100 years.
Polystyrene, Brian. Built to last.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So what if this is a little bit heavier? At least it's going to have much less impact because it doesn't last forever.
Brian, which is just what a mouse wants to hear when it's trying to choose a cup to move into to breed. I mean, think about it.
It's trash that doesn't go away.
Brian, my ex-wife doesn't go away either. And we're not calling her trash.
I think you just did.
Ugh, that's no good. Her lawyers are worse than those Dow Chemical guys. I'm really in trouble. There's a red dot on my chest. Either way, Brian, I mean, think about it. Polystyrene does go away.
It does go away?
Yeah, of course, Brian. Think about it. I mean, our sun has maybe 4 billion years left in it. As soon as it cools, it will expand and consume this planet, including this cup. And you and I are going to look back on this conversation and think, what were we fighting about?
So a supernova is the answer to the problem.
I wouldn't call it so super if I was the mouse living in this cup with his wife and his kids, thinking about how he's going to make a life for those babies. Either way, okay, you're forgetting that polystyrene can be recycled.
Oh, okay. So there are facilities that can recycle polystyrene.
There are. I wouldn't start one of those things. It's prohibitively expensive and just not feasible to do, but that'd be great.
Stephen, the EPA said that the polystyrene manufacturing process is the 5th largest producer of hazardous waste in the United States.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up. That number 5 haunts us, and I'd like to take this opportunity to say to the number 4 people, the irradiated feces industry. Look out, okay? Styrofoam's got your number. We're going to be number 4 in 2015, or I'll eat my hat.
Wait, I mean, you're saying, so making things worse, you're okay with that? That's okay?
Is it okay to create jobs, Brian? I mean, think about it. You have your workers designing cool cups. They're creating the chemicals that become the cups. Workers who put the hazardous chemical byproducts into a barrel. Workers who then drive those hazardous chemical byproduct barrels somewhere. Workers who dump out the barrels into some sort of shady dumping ground. Joggers who wander by the dumping grounds. A disturbed drifter who strangles those joggers. A small-town attorney who, against his better judgment, agrees to defend the drifter. The drifter's buxom sister who holds the key to the entire case. A key that the mayor will stop at nothing to hide. Jobs. Jobs.
Okay. So what you're saying in your heart of hearts is that you truly believe that the Styrofoam cup is better than the paper cup.
Not only do I believe that, Brian, but right here, I will swear to it on the life of my wife and kids.
Okay. I'm going to take you up on that. So why don't you raise your right hand?
Okay. I kind of wish it hadn't gotten to this point. I should say to you that my wife and kids have died. Last week I swore to that same thing on Anderson Cooper, and it's a literal process that I was tampering in God's domain, and I shouldn't have. Egg on my face, that's fine. Like paper, they just didn't last.
We'll be right back.
I had three kids.
Welcome to Rush to Judgment, the show that, how do you think it's going so far?
The best one ever, Brian.
Too much too soon.
Fair enough. Joining me is Beth Manchester. Are you ready to rush to judgment?
Oh, yes, I am.
Ken Brown, I can tell you're ready.
Well played.
All right, let's begin. The Gang of Eight in the Senate has just proposed immigration reform in an 844-page bill. Good or bad for America?
Well, the existence of this bill is already hurting Latino families.
I haven't read the bill, Brian, but compromise is bad.
I'm sorry, we're getting breaking news from Boston, where apparently seconds ago a bomb went off at the Boston Marathon.
Well, this sounds like right-wing domestic extremists.
Muslim terrorists, Brian.
Oh, God, I hope it's not Muslims.
Why not?
It doesn't fit in the way I want to see the world.
Well, remember, whichever story turns out to be right, you heard it here first. Now, I'm now hearing there was a dark-skinned Saudi national.
Oh, well, now I'm convinced.
No trial. Warm up the chair.
Who has now been ruled out of being a suspect.
Sweet.
He's a personal hero of mine.
Law enforcement has cordoned off a 15-square-block section of the city. Opinion?
This is about tax day.
Damn it, I forgot to file my taxes. I cede this point to Beth.
All right, we're going to need to stop before all the facts come in. Thanks to my experts, Beth Manchester and Ken Brown. Join us next week for a reaction on the Supreme Court's forthcoming June ruling on gay marriage.
A beautiful day for America.
Judicial activism at its most disgusting.
So long. Welcome back. I'm joined today by three experts to discuss the issues of the day that are of interest to me. My first guest is a New Yorker. Please welcome Gary Coleman.
Yeah, very proud to be here. Thanks
Glad
for
to have you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for coming.
It's where it all happens. It's nice to see. Hey, walk out and do a TV show. That's New York for you.
didn't have far to travel.
Walked over. I don't have a car.
My next guest is a social worker from Miami, Florida, who just got out of rehab for exhaustion. Please welcome Mabel Mayfield.
Hello.
So tired.
Hi, I am.
How tired you are.
Yeah, no, rehab did not take.
You did not get refreshed at rehab.
Exhausted. I am still
What makes you
exhausted.
so tired?
I don't know. I mean, you try drinking 12 beers and not being tired, in a row. Like, drink one, can't stop,
I've done that in the past, but that makes me drunk, not really tired.
Oh, I don't know about drunk, but I do pass out a lot.
So you don't think this fatigue might be associated with consumption of alcoholic beverages or other depressants?
I'm a social worker. I think I would know the signs of alcohol.
That's right, you know. Okay. And my last guest knows what it feels like to be a red-headed stepchild because he happens to be the red-headed stepchild of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Please welcome Tim Jong-un. Tim Jong-un.
No one's kissed my hand yet.
Well,
Is that because he's not my real dad?
It has nothing to do with that.
He's my dad. He's my dad.
I understand.
My dad's the supreme commander.
The kissing of hands is not a customary thing. Is not a customary thing here in the States, quite honestly, especially in New York, right?
Yeah. Put 27 rings on it, and I'll kiss it.
Okay.
I have 27 rings.
You're not wearing them.
My dad is.
I pawned my rings for booze.
Let's talk about Cuba, because Jay-Z and Beyonce just went down there. They got a lot of flack for it because we have an embargo against Americans visiting Cuba because it's been in effect for, what, 51-something years, because we're trying to bring down Cuba. Hasn't happened for 6 presidencies or so. What do you think about this embargo? First of all, is it working, Gary?
Well, you know, the political embargo might not be working, but no matter what they do, those people are going to be in Cuba, and we're going to be here in New York. You know, like they're going.
So we win.
Yeah, they're going to be down there like chasing like a mangy dog around a barnyard. You know, trying to trying to figure out how to drive a surplus Volkswagen Rabbit, and we're going to be here eating plant donuts from 23rd. Eating at Teresi Brothers, eating at La Bernardin, and so I pity those people no matter what happens.
So what do you think, Mabel? This embargo, is it working?
Well, first of all, let me say I love me some Jay-Z and Beyonce. There's nothing I like to do better on like a Tuesday night than just blow some rails of Ambien and dance all night long to them.
I'm sorry, blow some rails of Ambien.
Just like, because I can't sleep, so sometimes when you crush it up and snort it, it helps.
You snort
better.
Ambien?
Yeah.
To go to sleep?
Yeah.
Because you're so exhausted?
Yeah, it doesn't work in regular form for me. For some reason. I don't know, I got to talk to my doctor
Perhaps
about
built up a tolerance to it. I'm not a physician.
I don't know, me neither. But anyway, the whole Cuba thing, I think telling people they can't do something only makes them want to do it more.
And you know this from firsthand experience?
I mean, when I work with my patients, a lot of my patients, when I'm like, don't drink, they go out and drink. Don't do pills, they go out and do
So you're a
pills.
social worker. You're dealing with people who drink too much and take too many pills and things, which makes them tired.
Yeah, well, no, it makes me tired. They have a terrible
They have a problem,
yeah.
you don't.
Yeah, I know.
Interesting.
That's why I needed to just go to rehab for it.
You needed to, did you have to because you decided to, or a judge asked you to?
Well, I have a very good friend who's a judge, and I happened to see him one day when I was in court, and he, just suggested that I go there.
Suggested?
Yeah.
You were in court visit?
Go there, or maybe check out prison, one of the two, because my exhaustion has led to a lot of car accidents. So.
Your what?
My exhaustion.
Your exhaustion from the beers and things that make you so sleepy.
Sleep deprivation is no joke.
Tim Jong-un, Cuba. Is the embargo working? Are we going to bring down the Castro regime anytime soon? It's been 51 years.
Embargo is weak. My dad would never use an embargo. We use our big missiles.
You threaten with your big missiles, which aren't that big and don't go that far most of the time.
Yeah, they do.
They fall in the ocean a lot.
Well, my dad says that now we're going to use magic laser horses to carry the big missiles.
Magic laser horses?
Yeah.
Really?
My dad ever had to deal with Cuba, we'd use our magic laser horses.
Magic laser horse. Now,
Yeah.
where did you read about these magic laser horses? Would this be in
This pamphlet my dad wrote
the North Korean
that I
press?
read every night before I go to bed.
He's very prolific, too. He writes a lot of things, doesn't he?
Yeah, my dad's the best author in the world.
Of course he is, just
He's
like
written
his father.
4,000 books.
Yeah, just like his father and father before him.
They're all autobiographies.
Wow. A lot to talk about.
Can't believe your lights have been on for so long.
Oh, because we don't have rolling blackouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we have pretty steady
Because
electricity.
you guys are busy shutting our lights off.
That's what you call it, rolling blackouts. It's not like I black out. I kind of just move through them.
Oh, these are rolling blackouts of exhaustion.
That's what this is right now.
You're having a rolling blackout.
Oh, God.
I was here during the blackouts, and obviously the country stood united behind us. Wish we had electricity, wish we had air conditioning.
Right.
It was a harrowing time. It was basically the American story.
Heroin time?
No, harrowing. Harrowing.
Harrowing.
Okay,
I like you.
yeah.
I'm going to give you to my dad.
Well, you can't do that here.
Go to your dad.
All right,
I can.
guys, I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm getting breaking news. All right. Okay. We've got Matt Fisher coming in with some breaking news. What's the latest, Matt?
Well, Brian, we have been told that the arrest of the suspect is imminent. Any moment now, he's going to be arrested by the FBI and brought to the federal courthouse, okay? They're knocking on his door. He's answering the door. He's being cuffed and taken. He's been placed in the car. He's arrested, Brian. He is under arrest.
Wow, okay.
That is what will happen when he's arrested.
I'm sorry, Matt. Is he under arrest or not?
Brian, according to my sources, the suspect is not under arrest at all. He's on his way to the courthouse as we speak.
He is?
Those are the words I will be saying when he's under arrest.
So he isn't?
Soon enough, okay? The FBI has their man.
They do?
No, not at the moment. Brian, please don't be too hasty in your thirst for justice here.
You know what, Matt? I'm going to go.
Well, don't go far. You never know when breaking news is going to break.
Matt Fisher, everybody. We'll be right back.
My goodness, I don't swing that way, but I'd kiss that dude. Jesus. Right?
He's covered most of my accidents.
Recently, MSNBC's Melissa HarrisPerry said that we need to break through the idea that kids belong to their parents.
And recognize that kids belong to whole communities.
That's actually great news because we could use a hand now and then.
From you. You're a lifesaver.
Here's something. The older one won't eat meat, and the younger one will only eat pizza if you take all the cheese off of it. Could you please quickly whip up some dinner for our kids that, quote, doesn't taste like butt, Miss HarrisPerry?
Here's one for you, Melissa. Our son, Greg, he says that he missed the school bus, so could you go pick him up for us? Thanks. He says he's near a fast food place.
Oh, another tantrum. Maybe you should go talk to him.
Normally, I'd hate the fact that a woman who's never met my kids has decided that she knows what's best for them, but I love the idea of somebody else getting called a fat idiot by a 15-year-old who thinks that I don't know what pot smells like.
I think that it would be a good time to talk to him about the birds and the bees, so. Take it away, Melissa.
You want him? You got him.
I'm sure glad that we are splitting the cost of sending our kid to private school.
Good luck cleaning this mess. Let me know if you find my sex drive under here. It's been missing for 7 years.
You know, you wouldn't have to keep picking our son up if he had his own car. I gave him your home phone number so he can keep asking you for one.
I think our kid gave me a head cold. How are you doing?
So until you're ready to lose your identity as a person,
Stop having a social life.
Talk to the principal more than your husband.
Then don't make promises you can't keep.
don't get our hopes up.
We would happily take you up on it.
I said no more TV!
Seriously though, take Timmy.
And now, the Glenn Beck Show highlight of the week.
Please let it be a white guy!
The Glenn Beck Show highlight of the week was brought to you by Glenn Beck, author of Control, exposing the truth about guns. And yes, if you own the network, you can advertise your book at a discounted rate.
And we are back with Gary Coleman, a New Yorker, Mabel Mayfield, who's recently gotten out of rehab for exhaustion, and Kim Jong-un. Now, I wanted to talk... Oh, all right, hold on. Okay. All right, we're going to go to Matt again. Breaking news from Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Brian. Breaking news.
Right, okay. Has the status of this case changed in any conceivable way since the last breaking news?
It has not, Brian.
Okay, let me ask you this, Matt. What are the criteria for determining something is breaking news?
It's just random, Brian. It's just a way for companies like this one to make it seem like you have to watch TV, which you don't. You can actually ignore television in almost all cases. Some breaking news here, Brian. I'm receiving word that I've been fired for revealing company secrets. That's an exclusive. You've heard it here first.
Thank you, Matt. All right, I'm sorry, Gary, Mabel, Tim. All right, let's talk about Justin Bieber. Went to the Anne Frank house in Amsterdam, where Anne Frank hid out from the Nazis until she was turned in by neighbors. He wrote in her journal there in the book there, truly inspiring to be able to come here. Anne was a great girl. Hopefully, she would have been a believer. So he got a lot of flack for that. Can we forgive him? He's 19 years old. He's famous. Everything he says is totally scrutinized, or is he just a big dumb idiot? Gary?
I feel for Bieber. I have a similar sort of story. One time I was on the Upper West Side at the New York World War II Museum. It's a museum dedicated to sort of the New York victims of World War II.
Just the New York victims?
Well, sort of the victims of gasoline rationing and like having to watch newsreels about, Europe or whatever.
Boy, did we suffer.
Well, it's sad. And so I was signing the book, and I signed Baba Booey, which is like,
Howard
Stern's thing. And I got kind of the side eye from those people.
So are we forgiving? I don't know. Do we forgive Bieber for this?
Yeah. I mean, what does he know? He's from wherever. He's from, what is it, Canada? That's not even upstate.
Right.
I mean, I could see upstate, you drive up there a couple hours, watch the leaf change.
He's not even out there. It's like, do they even have radio or whatever where he's from? But if like weirdo number 1 goes to weirdo number 2's house, who died I don't know how many years ago, and says some other thing that I don't understand, it's kind of like at a certain point, hey man, I got Knicks games to watch.
So your attitude is forgive Justin Bieber because
Forgive and forget simultaneously.
Because he's not important,
Yeah.
because he's not in New York City.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I mean, if he was a big deal, he'd be here. MSG. MSG is the stage of stages.
Mabel,
Yeah.
Bieber, do
Forgive.
we
You gotta
forgive?
forgive. People make mistakes.
They make mistakes. He's 19,
He's
right?
19.
Yeah.
God.
Okay.
I mean, people make mistakes at any age. At
What-
38, for instance.
How old are you by any age?
38.
38, what a
Yeah. So,
coincidence.
I mean, people make mistakes.
Do you make mistakes a lot?
Every day. I make the same
Every day?
mistakes every single day.
Could you describe a mistake?
Well, you know, sometimes I get, I've just had a day,
Mm-hmm.
and then I need a little something to like take the edge off the day. And then once I get started, I can't stop. So I'm just drinking, and then I get really tired, and then I get really sleep deprived. So then I got to crush up all these pills and do those.
Oh,
to try and
interesting.
stay awake. But then, then I'm still sleepy throughout the day. The next day, and
So
then I got to take the edge off that day. So it's a vicious, horrible cycle, and you got to forgive people.
Forgive him. Kim Jong-un.
He must be punished.
He has to be punished.
That's right, punish him.
Why do you want to punish?
Well, when I was 19, I also made one mistake.
What
the
was
first
that?
and last mistake I've ever made. I attempted to hug my father in a semi-public area, and I was forced to clean the whole country in order to learn that I made my mistake, and I did.
You had to clean the whole country.
Yes, that's right.
The entire country of North Korea.
Yeah,
you
I had to vacuum it.
You had to vacuum North Korea because you
There was
tried to
dirt.
hug. That is a harsh punishment.
Yeah, but
So
I learned my lesson, and the same should be for Bieber. He misspelled a word in that registry.
Well, no, he
It's with a V, Brian. Believer.
No, believer is with a V, but believer is someone who loves Justin Bieber. It's like a Bieber fan.
Sounds like someone else needs to vacuum the country.
Justin Bieber?
You.
Me?
My dad's been alive for 3,000 years.
Oh, that's not necessarily true or scientifically possible.
I brought a book for you.
What's it called?
It's called My Dad's Been Alive 3,000 Years. It's by my dad.
That's all the time we have for this week's BS of A. Join us next week for a brand new episode. Please like us on Facebook, love us on Twitter, check out our clips on YouTube, and don't forget to email me your Social Security numbers so I can put them in the Blaze time capsule. I'm your host, Brian Sack. Don't go anywhere. Up next, a brand new, wonderful world of stew. Good night. You sleeping?
Yeah.
City that never sleeps. Warm up the chair.